validation and support for autistic people and their loved ones.
Hey guys, Orion Kelly here. Just a little heads up that I have a little bit of a sore throat today. I know I mentioned it in one of my recent live streams, but it's gotten a little bit worse, like bad enough that I've lost my Australian accent entirely, and some might even think I sound like a girl, but it's just been getting progressively worse. So I've been in pretty bad burnout the past couple of weeks. I think I'm starting to turn around from it, but because of that, I also don't look like my usual self today, you know? I mean, burnout is tough. It's tough, mate, you know? I mean, I can't even cook myself breakfast in the morning, make less shower and shave and all that good stuff, so I haven't really been able to keep up with everything, so forgive me if I look and sound a little bit different today, but yeah.
Validation and support for autistic people and their loved ones.
Hey guys, Jen here, and this is not my channel, Neurodivergent. I'm sure you're probably confused seeing my face right now instead of Orion's, but that's because Orion's been in burnout mode for the past couple of weeks, so myself and another autistic YouTuber decided to step in and help him get some content out because he hasn't been able to for a while. Orion has given a lot to the community, so this is one of the ways we've chosen to give back to him. And there are ways that you can help someone on the spectrum deal with burnout too, because it's something we all deal with from time to time. So I'm gonna chuck it over to a very special friend so we can go over a few tips and tricks on how you can support a friend or loved one in a time of burnout. And if you stick around until the very end of this video, you'll get to see a clip of an imposter Orion Kelly that we caught on video.
Oh, hi. My name is Claire, and this is not my channel. Woodshed Theory! Today, I'm teaming up with my friend from Neurodivergent, Jen, and we're here to support our friend, Orion Kelly, who's going through a period of what we like to call burnout. Burnout is a phenomenon that happens to a lot of people who are on the autism spectrum, so Jen and I thought it would be a good idea if we went through a list of some ways that you can support a friend who's going through burnout. So what is burnout in the context of autism? Dr. Dora Raymaker, research assistant professor at Portland State University, defines burnout as follows. Autistic burnout is a syndrome conceptualized as a result from chronic life stress and a mismatch of expectations and abilities without adequate supports. It is characterized by a pervasive, long-term, typically 3 or more months, exhaustion, loss of function, and reduced tolerance to stimulus. You can learn more about understanding autistic burnout on the National Autistic Society's website. We'll link the article down below. Before Jen and I get through our list on how to support a friend through burnout, I just want to remind you that we are just two autistic people. The tips that we give you are not meant to substitute professional medical advice, so if that is something that you're looking for, please reach out to the appropriate parties. The first thing that we'd like to talk about as far as supporting a friend through burnout is, of course, recognizing that your friend is having a problem. Recognizing burnout isn't necessarily difficult to do. Sometimes your friends will just come out and tell you that they're in burnout. They feel like they're entering a period of burnout or that they're in a period of burnout. This assumes that they understand their autism enough to recognize what burnout looks like for them. If they don't tell you that they're in burnout, you may also notice that they have retreated from their everyday lives. They have stopped putting out work that you may have noticed that they were doing before. They may be presenting with a different personality. They may be more short with you or less communicative with you. They may seem more tired than usual. You should be looking for significant changes in behavior that seem to be keeping your friend from living what you might consider their baseline normal. Burnout can look a lot of different ways, but it usually is a period of quiet distress for an autistic person. So being able to identify if your friend is in burnout is an important part of being a good friend to them, so that you can at least inform them of your observations and maybe help them to move forward.
Suggestion number 2, reach out and support. Let them know you're available. You don't have to have all the answers. Just offering yourself as a friend could mean more than you'll ever know. Don't put pressure on them to tell you how to fix it. Just let them know you're there. And one other way to show support is to give them a few words of encouragement. As Claire just referenced, many of us have a mismatch of expectations and abilities, so we oftentimes push ourselves too hard. So remind them just how much they've accomplished. They need to hear it. We oftentimes exert twice as much effort and energy to overcome the challenges of autism, but yet in our minds, it's never good enough. So many times we just need to hear someone tell us we're doing better than we think.
Suggestion number 3, work out together what they need concerning support. What does that look like for them in this situation? It might also be helpful to point out that you may ask them what they need for support, and their response may be, I don't know. This doesn't mean that you can't still be supportive of them. At the very least, you can continue to check in with them and make sure that they know that you're there and available for them. It's nice knowing that even when you're having a rough time or going through a burnout, that you have people around you that support you and care about you. In reference to this video, when Jen asked Orion how she could support him, he let her know that a great way to support him in this time would be to help him make some content for his channel. So here we are. But this support can look like a lot of different things. It can look like checking in, maybe cooking meals, coming over to shadow a person while they get some cleaning done, helping them around the house, helping them by talking to them about maybe what their next steps are, making sure that they're taking time on their own and practicing self-care. There's a lot of things that might be a good way to support them. The important part is, for the most part, they're telling you how they'd like to be supported and what would be helpful to them, as opposed to you telling them what would be helpful to them.
Suggestion number 4, encourage them to do things that will recharge their battery. Give them space to engage in their special interest or get some alone time. Better yet, offer to be a listening ear to allow them to info dump on you about all the things that are important to them. Remember, it was a result of chronic life stress that got them here in the first place, which means at this point, their battery isn't just at 0, it's in the negative. So being able to engage in things that will add back some of that energy will help them to slowly regain that balance.
Tip number 5, check in with them to make sure they are getting rest and focusing on recovery from their burnout. Remind them that they don't need to rush it. There's a very good reason we added this tip, and that is sometimes it can be easy to forget that a person who's in a long-term burnout will need your ongoing support. Only checking in with them once is a bit helpful, but because of how burnout works, they may not reach out to you again if they need something. So making a point to reach out once a week, once every 2 weeks, just to see how they're doing, to remind them of their progress, where they've come from, where they're going, remind them that you're there for them. That goes a long way in supporting somebody through burnout. When you're in burnout, it can be very difficult to remember to be kind to oneself. So having a person there to let you know that you're not alone and that things are going to get better is really helpful.
And suggestion number 6 is probably the most important one of all: patience and kindness. Remember, you can't fix this for them. I know you're a good person that wants to, and if you could, you would, but realizing that you can't will take a lot of weight off of your shoulders and give you more capacity to truly be there for them. The worst possible thing you could do for them in this situation is to be upset because they're not getting back to normal as quickly as you think they should. This won't only increase their feelings of inadequacy, but it will prolong their burnout. Trust me, they want to get out of it more than anyone. And the last thing they need is someone to be mad at them. So please understand that while it may not feel like much, one of the biggest offerings you can bring to the table is patience and kindness.
Thanks for finishing that up, Jen. We hope that after watching this video, you feel more empowered to help your friend or loved one through their autistic burnout. Burnout is something that happens to many autistic people, so being prepared as a supportive friend can provide a positive outlet to healing. Have you or anyone you know ever gone through autistic burnout? What are your tips on supporting your friends through autistic burnout? Let us know down in the comments. If you haven't, subscribe to Orion's channel, please. And definitely click the like and the share. And we'll see you, and Orion will see you next time.
You didn't come here to hear me talk about myself. You came here for another unwatchable version of my unmasked, unedited, unplanned, everything video. I think we're at 7.1 now. I'm just gonna call this 7.1 and appreciate you watching, but I don't know how much longer you'll keep watching. And if you're new here, just so you know, in this video, there's no script. There's no beginning, middle, and end. It's just me talking. I normally try to get videos out every Monday, but because I've been in burnout for the past couple of weeks, I haven't been able to get anything out. I mean, I have 2 entire written scripts. 2. But I haven't been able to film a bloody thing. Yeah, sure, I've been able to do a couple of live streams. A couple of live streams on my phone. Some live streams. Because that doesn't take any effort, you know? I just put my phone up and I start talking. And you all come and watch me for some reason. And in the past couple of weeks, it's like, hey, who's this Orion Kelly guy? Yeah? Who's this Orion Kelly guy? Because I haven't gotten any content out. So it's like, yeah, mate. I'm just only that guy who's been trying to raise a level of awareness, acceptance, and appreciation for the autistic community. I've only got 700 videos on my channel, but I don't do anything for a couple of weeks. And it's like, who's this guy? Like, oh, hey, did you know that I'm also an author? I wrote a book. Me, mate, I wrote a book. It took me a year and a half to write it, and you can go and buy them on Amazon or whatever. I've also been signing and sending them to people all over the world, but I won't be doing that again. I think I have like 80 copies left to sign and mail out by hand, but once those are gone, they're gone, you know? So it's like, you know, I'm struggling to get myself dressed in the morning and everything feels like a big chore. Ton of work, you know? So I can't even get these videos out, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, who's this guy? You know? And then there's all these little YouTubers out there doing their little collabs, getting like 80 people. But I can't take a break because there's all this pressure to get content out. All this pressure to get content out, you know? There's like, my mind won't shut off and let me relax, because even when I'm in burnout and I need to take a break, my mind won't let me take a break. There's no PTO I can request. There's no HR office that I can go to and say, hey, I'd like to take a few days off and not have to worry about things. So, you know, And I'm sorry if all of this isn't really making any sense, you guys, but this is just me. I'm just an autistic guy on YouTube making this unedited video for you guys that you guys come to watch for some reason. Will the real Orion Kelly please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up.